Greetings. I think every person who's at least a little befriended with history wondered, what if Soviet Union won in Cold War? How humanity continued to evolve? Whether or not it succeeded in dressing up the triumph over poverty, corruption and wars around the world, and which place in the world would occupy USA. Today, I suggest you find out. Now, for the backstory. Red world, globe were one socialism. In most part of Europe established progressive regime, loyal to Moscow, except for England, Spain and Portuguese. In Asian region, same situation, but with Beijing. Indonesia, the main ally of China, entered Kampuchea, organized military union of mutual help and are a counterbalance to Moscow. North American continent suffered a most unfortunate fate. USA was divided between different businessmen, rulers of trade union and politics. Alaska and Hawaii has come into the fold of Canada, and the South States has come into the Mexicans. How can you see? The Eastern Bloc blooms and smells, in contrast to the West. But NATO has not ended its existence. On the paper the Union exists, but it's listed only the UK, USA and Canada. Other countries live over there under Moscow pressure. But in fact, the legacy of NATO became Democratic League by led Canada. The organization few in number only Canada, Australia and other detached parts, that is Alaska and Hawaii. Now it is understandably that its very limited strength. It never gave up on turning the world back into democracy and capitalism, and obviously that's 20th year existence without USA, the Union became a pathetic spectacle. The cowardly President Ronald Reagan once said that America is lost, that the democratic and capitalist values we held dear have failed in the face of the Soviet Union. But it's not this force the Republic lives by. Instead we are guided by the vision of our savior, President Bush. For years since the collapse of the United States, we have been cast aside as the remnants, with little legitimacy on the world stage. They are considered the backwater of the old USA, even when compared to our less than prosperous heartland neighbors. So now there is only one path for the Republic, a new awakening. If we are to break free from the chains of history, it must be said that it's time for the rise of the Republic. We shall take back what is rightfully ours and unite the United States again, once and for all. But in spite of the lovely speeches, the people of America stayed in the last 20 years lived on inertia. They believed in a miracle that once everything will change and their country will great again. At the end of 2010 there was a president elections in the American Republic. With the support of Republican Party was elected the son of the great leader, Jeb Bush. And after the inauguration in the beginning of 2011 started initiatives in the external policy. From Yemen a request came in the country started civil war, and because we stapled ally obligations, our new president they decide to destroy power balance in the world and show that it's too early to write America off. President didn't forget about Americans. To reinform our society, government of American Republic continued alienation aside traditional values and careful secularization. Also, decided the solution is to go back to basics, because before the presidential term of current leader, a president of American Republic frequently abused their power, and we still same like Eurasian communist country where people don't have authority, because all power in hand of bureaucrats and party members. But we are not them, and we refuse from this disenfranchisement. 19 February 2014, we got down to business. Troops of American Republic crossed border of Union of Illinois. After small clash on the line, we captured St. Louis. After that, leaders of the failed state escaped to the north. American Republic got his back. Some later, in middle of the April, began war with Great Lakes Confederation. This enemy more seriously than the previous one, because developed industry always was in the north. So the enemy created modified army which on the strength to fight with us, but this won't stop us. Despite the fact that our offensive moved leisurely and army suffered considerably losses, we followed a strict plan. The enemy are retreating, we are offending. Some division even had encircled, but this idle is continued briefly. American Commonwealth declared war to us, and because we didn't have any division on the line, the forces surrender our north and east territory. After study of surrendering, starts the time of position war. From October 2013 to May 2014, we are only defended. But during spring counteroffensive, our power captured Chicago. After that, the confrontation has changed. Divisions of Free America driving the enemy in surroundings, and time has begun to play out for our side. The ending of 2014, troops of American Commonwealth has been discarded from Chicago neighborhood. Under our control were coming back North territories, and progressively the war was coming to an end. While the custodians of democracy taking back our land, the politics thought about the south direction. American Republic has strange relation with Texas. With one side, they dependent on us, but on the other hand, they exist because Mexico need the buffer country. Yes, maybe the citizens of Texas was on our side, but the Texas politics and oil magnates played for both sides and always believed in one force, in the power of profit. 2nd February of 2015, Texas restored right of state in America. On our example, Texas tried role of autonomous country. For 30 years, economy of state degraded, and large city like Houston, San Antonio, and Austin evolved in battle for Mexicans, Haitians, and other rebel. But with support from Republican America, Texas don't fear. We know the eternal conservatism of Texas townspeople. They are tired of the flood of immigration and are helping us get rid of unwanted guests. Unfortunate for us, 22nd May 2015, communists from the West decided to intervene in our conflict with American Commonwealth. We fall into the same trap. We again didn't prepare to attack and back. We again lost many territories, but the East won't be around much longer. But West, without East, is not afraid. By autumn of the year, we stand under New York yet. And in the beginning of December, our enemies laid down their arms. Thankfully to our brilliant diplomats, we persuaded communist scoundrels give up. We traded life of a bunch of dissidents it for spirits of millions simple Americans. Isn't that a victory? Yes, maybe we lost these criminals and they escaped in Europe, but they will convicted of treason and will suffer in cold Soviet jail. War with Pacific communists was not protracted. For a few months or so, we discarded enemy forces to California, and after capturing San Jose and San Francisco, we finished the last creature, which was encroaching on our freedom. After this metamorphosis, the last transformation awaited the American Republic. Firstly, united with Arizona, which supported us in the Pacific War. Secondly, American Republic needed to select capital of country. Despite the fact that New York was at one point under communist control, the city is still a symbol of democracy and freedom around the world. And if you ask any free man, he will tell you the same thing. After the transformation of capital in New York started updating Statue of Liberty. Also began a reconstruction of other cities around all over country. Started the great building construction. In 16th of May 2018, the United States has finally returned and is ready to challenge the communist world order that has troubled Europe and Asia for decades now. To all free people of the world, know that we, the United States of America, are back and ready to bring democracy to the globe once more. 14 June of 2018, Mexican state accepts our demand about the South states. Later, 9 June, Hawaii and Alaska was annexed to us. We got back the territories without firing, and no one didn't contradict us. Isn't that a victory of American nation? After that, we joined in Democratic League and immediately took control of the faction. The next step was to expand the alliance. We invited Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Russia and Japan. All countries agreed invitation. The 2018 year was a point of no return. We reorganized the Democratic Coalition and returned our status as a global power. President Bush did everything in his hands and made America great again in 2 terms. He became for Americans the kind of man who never died, but ascends to heaven.